Sam O'Reilly for Fight Talk. I'm here today with Peter Sims, Gym, Gator ABC, with current Southern Area Super Middleweight Champion Craig Spider Richards. What's good, bro?
I'm what? No joking. Nothing, man. I'm good. Just finished working.
What is it? 2 o'clock now. You've been training since ridiculously early.
About 8 o'clock. Yeah, been up since about 6. So yeah.
Talk me through your day, your training day, because you guys do some work in this gym. Like, it's not a session and then come. Tell me a little bit about your day training.
Usually I'm often up at 5 a.m. Start actually working from about 7. We probably do about 3 sessions a day, depending on what I've got. So I might get up, do my run, go gym, do sparring, do more work, bags and everything. Go do some strength work. Might do get up in the morning, do trap, go gym, do circuit work. Come back, do technical works, and then do some more strength in the evening. So 3-4 sessions a day, every day, just working.
The hard work's paying off. You picked up your first title.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the fight. Your first 10-rounder. How did you feel in there? How did the 10-round distance feel to you for the first time?
I felt good. To be fair, it was there's always them unanswered questions. Everyone always says to you, oh, you might have done 10 or 12 or whatever in sparring, but it's different under the light. So I started thinking to myself, is it different under the light? So you got to be cautious in your first 10, your first 10s and 12s. You always think about this stuff. So I started using smart tactics like drawing him on, pulling him on, going onto the ropes, letting him let his hands go, blocking defense and letting him wear himself out a bit, and coming back, racking up my points and winning the rounds. Just being smart, not trying to do too much, all them sort of stuff, just to see how the 10 rounds feel. I thought maybe I might start getting a bit tired in 8th and 9th and 10th might be, but I wasn't. And when I got off my stool in that 10th round, I felt fresh and everything felt good. I was like, wow, I feel great. But obviously, of course, I have to thank the whole camp and Tony Sims and Peter Sims and everyone who pulled together to get me through, to get me ready for the fight, really.
Because Higgins obviously undefeated as well, high thought of, so it was a fight in your 8th, I think it was your 8th fight, yeah?
Yeah, just my 8th fight.
So some people were like, listen, it's a bit soon, why are you taking it? And obviously you proved why you took the fight. Was that ever in your mind about it? Maybe it's a bit too much too soon?
No, I know I can work at that level. So you get when people look at it, it's under 10s pros. It's people classes your learning curves. Then you start getting to the 12 to 15, you start looking at your first title, so on, so on. I knew I could be in that 12 plus category early on. We called this fight for November 26th for the Wembley. It didn't happen. We kept calling it. I wanted it. It wasn't personal to Higgins. I didn't even know who he was at all. I saw his name in the paper. That's the Southern Area champion. He's 12-0, 6 KOs. Okay, good record, Southern Area champ. Let's go for it. It weren't nothing personal. Just that I said, you heard in my interviews all last year, I kept saying on every fight, if you've got a belt, if you don't vacate, we're going to end up fighting. He happened to be the guy with the belt when I was ready to fight for it. So we fought, and it weren't personal. He's a good fighter, very seasoned, big amateur pedigree, beat a lot of big names in the amateurs. He's come through 12, he was 12-0, 6 KOs, couple good wins. He had 4 10-rounders, I believe, before my fight, which I only had 1 6-rounder. So I think that's why everyone had me down on the bookies, and him being the champion, etc. The least experienced one. They didn't think I could. They thought I was going to fade in the later rounds, which I think I proved a lot of people wrong. So we've gone there now, and it's just stepping up the levels now. I've been improving as a fighter. Just trying to learn more, looking what I can take from the fight and building on it. I'm building and becoming an improved fighter till I can get to that level, till I get to my final goal and destination.
Yeah, brilliant progress for an 8th fight at the 10-rounder and pick up the Southern Area title. It's good progress along the way. Let's look at what's next, because we know you're out on the 3rd of June, which is the O2. I think Dillian White's going to be headlining that.
Yeah.
We know, we don't know exactly who it is yet, but we know it's going to be for an English eliminator.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about, how the Southern Area title may or may not be affected in this fight, and the immediate future.
To be fair, as I agreed before my fight, I told everyone. I told even Alan not when I beat him, but if I beat him, that I'll be vacating. So there's no worries if he lost. He'll be able to fight someone else back for it. So Southern Area wasn't really in my interest to have. Like some people come in the game and they think, well, I'd love to win a Southern Area one day. For me, it was more of a stepping stone. Which I'm not saying that I'm surpassed the Southern Area better than anything or better than anyone. It's just that it was just like everyone's got different aspiration and goals, and my aspiration goals is different from a Southern Area, so it's kind of like a stepping stone for us, for me and Peter, to get it and move on from there. So obviously next step is obviously the English title. So now we're going on for the English Eliminator. We don't know what names we got to go for. Obviously I put myself in this situation because I've beat a lot of good names. Like even if you look at the guys I've fought in my previous fights, like Adam Jones, he only boxes people usually like 15-0, 14-0, 13-0. Like I took him in my SIG fight. Even the guy I boxed last, his previous fight was Paul Smith, which I blew him out quickly in 2 rounds. Then you got Dalton Miller, was a hungry prospect. Scott Douglas, as we saw, after I beat him my second fight, went on to win the challenge belt on his next fight. You got like Richard Horton, he boxed Richard Dodson, who was a British champion, nearly stopped him twice the previous fight before. Man, before that he boxed for the Southern Area against another super middleweight. He was 12-0 and he just won the super middleweight title off of him. I went out and took him in my 4th fight as a normal fight, blew him out in 1 round. So it's like all of that has put my rankings up in the mix with all of the more experienced players. Like I looked, I think it was on Box Record saying my points was the same as Jermaine Smiles, who's the English champion. He's got 20 fights, I'm 8 fights in the mix with them because of the people I've fought. So now we just got to be a bit smart and the right fights for the right time and build properly. Like obviously I know I took a jump up with like Higgins, ranked a lot higher than me at the time, but it was more just to prove that I can get there and get on that level and get some good names under my belt and then carry on rebuilding. So from now on it's kind of like I'll leave it down to my management to pick what fights, when I'm meant to fight and what I'm meant to fight for. But I've now got to just work hard, train and keep my head down and just keep listening and just watching over my flaws.
You mentioned Jermaine Smile, him and Darryl Williams are fighting April 22nd in Leicester for that English title. How do you see that one going, and would you have a preference to which opponent, or it just literally don't matter, whoever's got it is getting in your way?
I know Darryl for a long time. We boxed as amateurs even together. He's from my area, I know him. Jermaine Smiles, I don't know him. I saw him box against Leo McKenzie. Good fight, a tough fight between them both. Credit to both of them. I feel like with these two it could be a clash of styles really. They both like to come forward and have a tear up. So I think it's all going to come down to who's actually physically stronger, who's got more heart, who's fitter. That's what it's going to come down to. Is Jermaine Smiles been a lot of tough fights with a lot of good opponents, where Darryl Williams is unbeaten. I think he's like 14-0, and Jermaine Smiles saying about who's he boxed and all this and that. Well, he hasn't lost, so this is his chance to prove himself. He's stepping up now, and he's proving him. He gets to prove. He's time to prove himself. And as we know, boxing's a funny game. There ain't a he's better than him or he'll beat him. Styles make fights. So for me, I don't have a clue who'll win that. I just got to sit and wait 20 seconds and watch to see who wins. It's going to be a good fight, I believe. They're both good fighters.
Yeah. The British title is also being contested next week by someone you know very well.
Yes.
John Ryder, who obviously you sort of cross gyms sometimes, don't you? With a matchroom gym, you work together. You do a lot of work together.
Yeah.
What happens with that fight if John Ryder wins this fight? Yeah. Which I imagine you hope he does.
Yeah.
Do you wait until you get up to level and hope he moves up to an international title, or would you fight him for the British?
Like, you know what? John's like a stablemate to me and a friend as well. Like when I turned pro, he was one of my first proper season pros that I was sparring with. So I got a lot of respect for John. Like I've been sparring with him all this week. I'll be sparring with him again tomorrow. I'll be sparring with him all last week, helping him get prepared for the British title fight. We're all like with the Sims camp. We're all like one team. We don't look as each other as enemies. I'm gonna fight him or he's gonna fight me. We're all one kind of team. So we'll just map it out right and just leave it down to Peter and Tony to see where we go from here. Really. Yeah,
definitely. He's had a lot of fights, John, and I think he's got the tools to get this British title.
I believe he has. I think he can do it. I think in his last fight, it wasn't against Etches.
Etches, yeah, in Olympia.
He looked very good because Etches is a strong, tough guy. and he's variety of shots, the uppercuts, the rolls, the combinations. But as you said, we was in camp all that fight, and John was looking great. He was fit. I remember in Portugal, he was doing runs. And
he's strong, isn't he?
Very strong, big legs. He's fit. I remember hearing him trying to come past me on our 10-mile run, and I'm like, we're going at it. But nah, John, he's seasoned. He's a good fighter. I like John. He deserves it. I think like he was drained at middleweight, and I think like he boxed well, and then certain times he didn't get a decision on one of his fights. A lot of people wrote him off. Now he's come back with John again. A lot of people are like, back on his bandwagon. So
definitely, no, he's a tough guy. He's a gentleman as well. I spoke to him a lot, and
very nice.
It'll be a very, very tough fight, him and Rocky Fielding, but I look forward to that one. So let's just end up, finish up on what we expect to see from you this year.
Yes.
You said June the 3rd, we're going to have eliminators for English. Do you want that English by the end of the year?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I want it by the end of the year. Definitely want English by the end of the year. Don't know in what fight I'm going to get it in or when, but it's something I'm looking at. Definitely is my next kind of benchmark target. Because, but one thing I realised is that whether I get in my next fight or 2 fights or 3 fights, no matter who I fight, if they're more experienced, you're not going to get the credit for it. Like, when you look at it, you go home, you go look at all the prospects, you box reps them. You tell me anyone who's boxed anyone on their 8-fight, 12-0 unbeaten, 6 KOs for a Southern Area title. Most people would wait for them to vacate, box someone with a few losses, box someone who's on their way out. So it's like, one thing is I realised, I went and took the gamble, got the win, and I still didn't get the credit for stepping up. So it's kind of like, I realised you just got to do things at the right time.
Focus on yourself.
Focus on yourself, stay in your lane, and just keep working.
Definitely. Ricky Burns this Saturday. You going up there?
Yes, I'm in Glasgow. I love Ricky. He inspires me. I love working with Ricky. He trains so hard. Like, he tells me little tactics what to do, helps me with my little nutrition side. Like, he's a veteran. In the gym, I love being around Ricky. He works so hard.
Free-weight world champ now. Unbelievable.
And he could unify on Saturday, and he works harder than the hungriest prospects. There's no one who outworks Ricky. He is literally a workhorse. I love how Ricky works. He's a pleasure to be around.
Definitely. Listen, work hard. Maybe one day you'll hit those scales yourself.
That's what I want. I just got to keep working hard, grafting, learning, listening, and taking up tactics and get there eventually.
Definitely. Listen, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me down the gym.
Yes.
Pleasure talking to you as always, Spider.
Pleasure talking to you.
I look forward to seeing you on June the 3rd.
Yes. See you later.
Thanks for talking to Fight Talk.